once again for the Guys Weekend Podcast. I am Josh Tenney, along with, as always, he's hung, but he's not hung. He's hung over, eating day-old pizza that was sitting out in the box on his back patio. Brandon Parks.
Yeah, it's just as good as it was at 2 a.m. So I was going to go for the wings, but there were some flies on it, and I'm like, I don't know about that.
Don't need, those eggs are all protein.
So, before we jump into today's topic of discussion, I want to talk about a mutual friend of ours.
Uh-oh.
Brad was just acquainted with this guy a few weeks prior. Zach's met him twice. Josh, you've met him a bunch of times. But let me tell you, that motherfucker, fudger, sorry. We're past 9. Oh, we're not 90 seconds yet. That was close. We can beep that out. Beep, I didn't say that. Schmand Schmarks. Listen, that guy is a bad influence. He is a drinker. He gets blackout drunk, and it is terrible. He's a pusher. Met him out for a few beers last night, and let me tell you, that is why I'm hungover. With shades on, shirt off, no underwear. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Got a fan pointing right at his nether regions.
Correct. Yes. Wow. 4 a.m. Wow.
I did notice he likes to climb to high places too. That's
he was on the bar last night, so
sounds like Schmanden.
Schmanden is a air guitar legend.
Yeah, there was a little bit of that last night too.
He kind of, it's kind of a mixture between like Slash and Fat Vince Neil.
I was just say Fat Vince Neil.
It's quite the combo.
But man, whoo, boy, oh boy. So Magoo comes over, right? He's working, right? We had the baby shower for Ronnie and Jessica yesterday. Ronnie comes up to me like halfway through it, and he goes, "Hey, dude." I'm like, "What's up?" He goes, "We getting slammed at your place after?" And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, cool." He's like, "I got to see what Jessica wants to do." I'm like, "Well, you know where we'll be." Boy, slammed we did. Magoo comes over at like 5:30, right on a break from work. Drinks 2 beers, smokes a cigarette, and takes another one for the road. This dude had to drink probably, I don't know, 9 beers while he was working. Then he comes back. He's like, "Yeah, I don't know how I get paid for that." And I'm like, "I don't know." He's like, "But I made a delicious pizza and brought like 2 dozen wings back." I'm like, "Cool. Keep that going. That's the energy we need."
Yeah, that's kind of energy we know and love from Magoo.
Oh my god! And listen, he fired off the "I love you guys" like real soon, real prematurely. Like the sun was still up. Man, he came out swinging. That's all right though. But anyway, back to topic of discussion. Oh, the fact that there's no Busch Light in Mike Rader's cooler. Another fucking, I could say it now, fucking ding in his box.
Come on, Mike Rader. You're better than that.
It's terrible. He's down there blowing up my
Busch
shit right now. Well, they were Ronnie's, and we definitely drank all of them last night. So, dude, my top of my laptop is so greasy and covered in pizza right now.
So the topic of discussion today is last weekend was the premiere of House of the Dragon. I started it in the middle of the week and then finished it last night. So,
you're fresh.
That way I'm fresh. Yeah. I still probably remember very little from it. Fuck. I got that. I got an old man memory already.
Initial thoughts.
So towards the end, I got no, this is just me being just weird. Towards the end, Princess Rhaenyra kind of had that a mix between Queen Amidala and the childlike Empress for Never Ending Story.
Are you talking about during her the heir ceremony?
Yeah.
Where they give her the yeah. I know what you're talking about.
All she needed was the painted face, and it would have been full Amidala.
Yeah, I thought Millie Alcock is the actress for her younger self. I thought she did a really good job. Really good job.
I was a fan. I enjoyed the fact that they didn't overwhelm you with too much knowledge, too many backstories, too many names, too much to know in the first, here we are, introduction to a new show. Remember all this stuff because it's going to be important. But I think the thing that got me in the most was bringing back that GOT violence. That was gnarly. I was a fan. Maggie was not, but she's like, oh my God, ew, oh, eh. I'm like, it's a TV show, all right? He's not really dead. They're not really pulling his brain out of his.
There was more blood in that birthing scene than any other.
Dude,
any of the fight scenes.
Out of all of Game of Thrones, that was the hardest scene to watch for me.
That was rough.
That was a lot. That was a lot.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was rough.
I was right there with Ramsay Bolton Sansa rape for me. But,
yeah,
it was right there. Bad. I was a little bit that opening shot we get of Rhaenyra flying on Cyrax just to start the whole show out. Light, happy air, like welcome back to Game of Thrones. They're playing undertones of the theme song in the background. Shouts to Ramin Djawadi, one of the goats. But I was a little worried that it was going to be like a lighthearted episode. I'm like, nah, fam, this is dark as fuck. Like this is dark as fuck. You gotta darken this up, and they did like 5 minutes later. But
yeah,
I thought it was a pretty cool opening.
Didn't take long. That was, it was great.
It was interesting to see like the you kind of get a sense that see, it's already starting. I can't remember any fucking names.
Who you got?
The king is kind of maybe not
Viserys?
like the strongest.
Viserys the first. Yeah.
Yes, not the strongest individual to be in that position.
He's not a bad king, but he's not as ruthless as other Targaryens. Brandon and Josh, Zach, I know you. Have you guys read the book?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so
No, I need to.
People think that the whole plot line of the show is going to be Princess Rhaenyra versus Prince Daemon, Matt Smith's character, really deep character. That's not what the plot of the show is.
That's what I heard. A guy I work with has read the books. He's like, oh no, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
so I'm not going to spoil anything, obviously, but buckle up for safety, friends.
I'm ready for it.
Viserys is the king of. He's the son of Jaehaerys, the old dude that they showed in that cold open, right?
Yep.
So the woman that they called the queen who never was. When I'm looking around on TikTok and stuff, the two confusing things, people are like, "Who the hell are these people?" Are Rhaenys Targaryen, Corlys Velaryon, and then the king Viserys, right? Because they're like, "Oh, that's Daenerys' brother, the blonde-haired guy that Khal Drogo killed." Yeah, no, not that guy.
No.
So Rhaenys is the daughter of Jaehaerys, who actually should have been the actual ruler, but gender roles are a thing in Westeros, which is a huge contention point of Rhaenyra getting crowned the future queen. So she should be the queen, Rhaenys. Her dragon is fucking badass. That's Merlys, one of the older dragons. And she's married to the black guy, Corlys Velaryon, which again, shout out to all the TikTok people out there thinking that they casted a black Targaryen. That guy's not a Targaryen. Blew my mind that people get so torqued out over this stuff. But he's cool as hell. He's the sea snake.
Nice.
Think like bougie Greyjoys, like richest guy in the world at the time is who that guy is.
Wow. Correct me if I'm wrong. His family's so rich because they've been to every port in the world, and they just go to a port and say, "What's your most exotic thing?" And they like basically buy all of it. They buy it and then sell it everywhere around the world, and that's how they have so much money. Like they make the Lannisters' fortune. If I'm granted with inflation, might be different, but genuinely, I think they rival Lannisters as like the richest family in history. Like they're up there. So
at the time, like double. The Lannisters are one of the richer families now, but yeah, Corlys, the Valerians are the richest family at this time period. Their fort is in, what's it called? Driftmark. It's like you know how Dragonstone is an island.
Mm-hmm.
It's an island in that bay. There's another island that the show never mentions because they never have to. It's another island south of Dragonstone, very close to it, and that's where the Valerian seat is.
I would like to see a whole season just following him around pirating things. I think that would be really cool. I hope we get to see some of that.
Yeah, we should get a couple naval battles.
Yeah.
Again, no spoilers, but we should get them just based on what I'm thinking about from the book. The Valerians are a big part of the story and who they side with. So.
This spinoff is going to be a kind of a test run to see where Warner Media goes in the future, because the rumor has it that they're thinking about cutting almost all of their scripted television shows and just going straight docuseries and documentaries and stuff. Now, obviously, like Game of Thrones, what's the other one on there? Succession. Those are
Succession, Westworld.
Those are going to be kind of the ones, but they're not going to be doing a whole lot of new scripted series. So if this does not do well, Game of Thrones is probably dead in Warner Brothers.
So I can't see that. I'm going to stop right there. They'll be fine. Like, I genuinely, like, looking at all cinema, genuinely, like TV, movies, the fact that several of my favorite and arguably the best scenes that you've ever seen on a screen come from a television show is pretty wild in comparison to like movies. Like, I just don't think that it could fail. Genuinely,
I don't think it'll fail. But after reading the whole merger situation with Warner and Discovery and stuff like that, scripted television is really contentious right now in Warner Media. I'm not saying that won't happen. That this would go away or anything, but they're going to be real selective on what they do Game of Thrones wise after. Like, I heard rumors of a Jon Snow series. Confirmed. I don't know what's going on with that because I haven't heard it since the merger happened.
Yeah, there was 9 spinoffs that were brought to the final storyboarding table. I don't know how many of those will be official, but what I've read, at least 6 will be. But this opening last week had HBO's. It was the biggest. No, not HBO. Let's take HBO out of it. Any TV show that has ever happened in the United States of America on any platform, it beat it for opening night. It had 20 million viewers in 3 days. So that's what we're looking at in terms of that.
And I think they were sitting back knowing that, like, as soon as they hit air, they were like, let's just see what happens. And then they got bombarded and they're like, all right, yeah.
It crashed.
Generally, like, this is the perfect. Yeah, this is the perfect idea because you have so many people that missed out on Game of Thrones live because genuinely that was an experience. Like, being able to sit there and talk with your friends and like watch it after. Like, everyone was watching at 9 o'clock because you couldn't make it to 11 without getting a spoiler. That's just how it was. And watching that live was a whole experience with your friends and family and stuff. So you have people that missed out on that and watched it after and still think it's good. That's wild. So then now what you do, all they had to do was they had to do something that took place before, so you didn't have to watch Game of Thrones beforehand. So there's like several people at my work right now that have never seen Game of Thrones and are already obsessed with this. They're like, this is going to be amazing. And I was like, yeah,
that's such a testament to the franchise that you got people who don't know anything.
Yeah, you just take it and you just you're like, well, I haven't seen Game of Thrones. Perfect. This is a prequel. You watch this, get hooked, and then between episodes, you can watch Game of Thrones and figure out what's going on. But
that makes me so happy to hear.
Yeah, generally, I just wish we were talking about this at work the other day. My buddy Jeremy and I I was like, I generally wish that I could experience this without my knowledge of Game of Thrones. Like, I wish I could watch this completely clean slate, and then because like, and I'll let you like, wow, I really hope she does really well as queen. Oh.
Well, hey, you three haven't read the book. You three are fine.
Yeah, I just mean like looking at like we know a lot of these houses are not even around at the beginning. Like so like
yeah,
they're not gonna stick around. So
well, if you guys want a spoiler, I'm not gonna give it to you, of course, but season 3, episode 6 or 7 of Game of Thrones, Joffrey's dumbass just completely spoils House of the Dragon. Like literally, he just says, "Here's what happens to the main characters of the show."
right, he's doing like a history lesson with the maester or whatever.
Yeah, he's walking.
Sansa.
He's Marjorie. He's walking Marjorie around the sept.
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna say anything else, but he's just like he points down. He's like, "Oh, that's where this happened." And I'm just like, "Oh my god."
yeah.
But did you guys like where the show was at plot wise, with what you were expecting / know or didn't know?
I liked it because I mean it skipped the whole figuring things out. It was just like, okay, here's the situation issue that they have right now. Here you go. Like they gave you everything you needed to know to start off, and then the only hard part is that the names in this show are going to be exponentially more difficult to follow in the Game of Thrones. For fuck's sake, one of the main characters in Game of Thrones, John. That's an easy name to remember. But then you see
John, Rob.
Yeah, Rob. I mean, hell,
Ned.
Sansa was hard, but it's just like now you have these names that first off they all start with vowels. That doesn't help me, and like my brain doesn't think that way. So I definitely am going to start having to do like note cards, and I'll probably watch if I have time today. I'll probably rewatch the first one just before I watch the second one.
That's what I do.
That's kind of the tradition I've always done too, because that helps you catch things and it, like a nice refresher. And I don't know, man. The show gets me hard, man. I don't even know how else to say it. Like it's genuinely one of the coolest experiences. Like all those little pieces that they had in the first episode that were just like for only people who have seen Game of Thrones, and not even just them, but like people that like wholeheartedly love that show. You could literally watch it, and somebody who hasn't seen it, obviously, but somebody who has seen it would just think it's like nothing. But like Brad, at the ceremony, the necklace thing, I didn't even notice that. And then you look back at it and you're like, that's amazing.
Oh, when I texted you?
So she has, when she's getting that whole necklace thing, and it's like or is it a dress with embroidery? I think that's what it is.
It's an embroidered like shawl.
Yeah,
what I was talking about.
But it has at the center it's all the sigils of most of the houses. Like you literally have the Targaryens in the middle. Then it had what are the ones it had? It had Stark. It had
Lannister, Stark, Baratheon.
Yeah, it had like all the main
Aaron, Greyjoy. It had the main houses of Westeros on it. It was sick as hell. Cool as hell.
I also, going off that same token, is I really like the part when they were talking. He was telling, wasn't like the dad or the king was telling Rhaenyra what what's it called? He was like giving that speech to her about becoming queen and how like what she needs to do and all that stuff. At the same time, they're doing the airing ceremony, and they're like showing all the different houses like swearing fealty to her, and all the like it was like, and it even showed Stark. I was like, that's so cool.
That's
like,
going around right now.
There's no need to do that, but just the fact that they did is awesome. Like it was so cool to see, and I think that they genuinely, and I hope I don't regret saying this. I really think, even just from this first episode, that the writers especially, and I think they've all have just taken everything they learned over those 8 seasons of Game of Thrones, and they're just gonna do it better. Like I think that Game of Thrones is its own entity, and you can't like beat it. But I just mean as far as the cinematography and the filmography and like everything that they're doing and the way they're filming it is just. It just looks so much cleaner. Like less
they can also kind of make their own thing too. Like not completely, not 100%, because you still have to. The point B is still the same, but how they get to point B, they can kind of come up with it. But the gist of what I'm getting from Zach is that even before the whole brothel orgy scene, he was rock hard.
Yes, correct.
But I mean, I'm going to double down on what I said the last time I was on this podcast, which was this is going to be just as good as, if not better, than the original show because they have source content that's completed. So this will be just as good, in my opinion, as Game of Thrones 1 through 6.
Yeah,
I said that last time. I'm saying it now.
Yeah.
I also think George R. R. Martin's come through with a lot of how frustrated he was with them towards the end of the show, and I really think that he is not afraid to get at them more. Like instead of just being like, oh, whatever.
Well, they gave him more freedom.
I guess you can. You can fuck up my whole show.
How frustrated he was with them. He has never finished the fucking last book.
That's true.
Well,
they have no source
2 pages.
to go with.
Daenerys dies. Bran's king. That's it. That's all. Genuinely, I don't even think I'd read the book. I will, but I don't want to.
Read it.
I want to read it because to see what it should have been and like see like how there's like the gaps that were
Let's all be honest. That last season of Game of Thrones probably should have been split into 2 seasons. I didn't have a problem with the end of it. It was just how quickly everything just came. It seems like there was points of it just came out of nowhere.
Should have been 9 or 10 seasons. That's what George R.R. wanted. That's what HBO wanted. They should have done the whole season for the White Walkers, a whole season of the contention between Jon and Daenerys, and a whole season for what do you call it? Cersei.
Mm-hmm.
That's right there is 3 seasons.
I still wish I could see her die. Like genuinely.
Yeah.
Like
I think there's a lot of good parts though in season 8.
I hated the way Cersei died. That was my biggest regret. That sucks so bad. 8 seasons. That's 9 years of my life because they took 1 year hiatus, or was it 2?
2.
Yeah. So 10 years of my life, I wanted one thing, and that was it. That was the one thing I wanted was to see her die a terrible way. Joffrey's death, exhilarating, but Cersei's was, I don't know.
Kind of.
It did not rock.
I think that the budget is $5 million more per episode than it was in season 8 of Thrones. So when that thing opened, I think it looks the same, if not a little better. I mean, I think, I said,
it looks way better.
I think the cinematography, the production, all that stuff, it's all gonna be there. We aren't gonna ever come on here after an episode and say like, this was pretty good quality. Like it's gonna be great freaking quality every episode. And I mean, I hate to say it, I don't want to sound like the Game of Thrones bougie, but like this is the expectation now. Like Game of Thrones happened and it was the best production of any show I've ever seen. So this needs to be on that level or higher. So
I'm just waiting for the diehard fans to get fickle as fuck.
They already are. There's so many people that are being.
I'm being positive, and Game of Thrones is my religion. So
it's the same. It's the same idea. Is that this is the same thing that happened with all? And I don't want to talk about Dune, but
oh god, yours
this is the exact same thing that happened and still happens to this day, where you had the original trilogy of Star Wars and you did prequels, and everybody got so butthurt and like, well, we already know how it ends. Well, duh, but like you see it happen. Like that's so cool. Like why are you so? Well, I only like 3 things in life, nothing else around it. Like in my mind, I'm just like, expand Star Wars as much as you want. Like that's my favorite thing. Like I mean, I could skip the sequels; those don't count. But everything else, like keep doing it. Hell, you could rewrite the sequels and I'll be fine with them.
To Zach's point,
they're working on it. So
the fickle fans are going around like there's TikToks like, oh, I like the show a lot, but except I know that Daenerys just burns it all down at the end. Spoiler alert. And I see that shit. I'm with you, Zach. I'm like, could you kindly shut your mouth?
Like just let people enjoy it, man. Like there's so many more Game of Thrones fans that will come from this. Like nobody that's gonna like the show is gonna go, oh, this is really good, but I'm not gonna try Game of Thrones. There's no way.
It was already a phenomenon. Season 6 was a phenomenon. It was global.
Yeah,
we're back.
We're
back, baby.
Insane. That was
God.
Season.
Oh, I did want to say one thing on what you said. You said you've seen a lot of you said the fact that some of the best action scenes you've seen were from a TV show. Yeah. We've all around the 4 of us have seen a lot of war movies. Am I wrong to assume that? We've all seen a ton of war movies.
Yep.
I have never seen anything like that scene in Battle of the Bastards when the cavalry charges Jon and they do that continuous shot of him for a minute. I've never seen any kind of filming segment in any action scene of a war movie that competes with that.
Yeah,
I don't think that's biased.
Chris and I just sat down and watched the clip of the Battle Bastards from when he releases the brother. Was it Rickon?
Yes.
Yeah, he releases Rickon. He's like, "Run to your brother," and he like pats him on the back.
Those are the rules.
Then meanwhile, there was like 8 of us sitting in a room watching this shit, and we're all sitting there watching it. And I can't remember who it was. One of my buddies he yelled, "Serpentine! Why are you running in a straight line?" He's just like a stupid ass kid.
Well, to be fair, you can go more in depth in a series than you can in a movie. When it comes
100% agree.
So
that's why, I've said this from. I'm not a big Harry Potter guy, Harry Potter movie guy. Genuinely, the books are incredible, and I loved growing up with those. That whole franchise would have been 10 times better if they did a series like they did Game of Thrones. Like, it was literally like when you take a book, it's meant to be made like that. Like, when you have that many books and that much content. Hell, I think Lord of the Rings should have been a series too. That would have been incredible.
But, I read the books after I watched the movies. And after you read the books, you start realizing, there's like a whole bunch of shit, like important shit from the books that didn't make it into the movie.
My favorite Harry Potter book is The Half-Blood Prince, and they basically skipped everything good. Like everything that was dark that was supposed to be in there and show almost the exact same thing as Daenerys, is that they just in the movie or show they went, well, you've seen all the good climb for her, now here's a huge drop. Like there's no way back down that hill for character development or character arc, right? Same thing. That's how I feel about Snape. Like, Snape in the books is 10 times better and has all this different pieces involved with him, or even Draco and Lucius too. But you just lose all that when all you care about is Harry, Hermione, and Ron. And hell, even Ron lost a ton of himself too. What do you
guys want to talk Game of Thrones and Harry Potter books in the same episode? You guys are just going after my entire heart in one episode
That's why I told you where you're coming, Pants. I hope you still got them on.
I've been telling everyone for years and getting in fights with people that the Harry Potter movies are just not good.
They're not good.
The first two are perfect, though. The first two are perfect.
The books are like 150 pages, so you should be able to cram that
300 movie. I know, and that's why it's the length. But they capture the magic, the music, everything. But I've read the Harry Potter books like 11 times each. I'm a fucking nerd. Okay, I have the books. I have them on Audible.
I listen to them religiously when I'm at work.
Dude, I've never been more immersed in Game of Thrones and Harry Potter. Star Wars, Lord of the Rings is like the holy trinity.
Do you think if HBO decided to do a series, because I mean it's Warner Brothers, they own the rights to it. Do you think it would do well now at post movie if they did a series?
Too late. I don't think you can do it now. You can't go back and make a movie into a show.
They'd have to do new content.
They'd have to do new, and
I don't think new content works as well. We're seeing that with Fantastic Beasts.
I do think though, on your point, Josh, is that if this video game Legacy comes out and does well, you could easily do a series way back, like towards the beginning of Hogwarts and stuff. And now I think that would do phenomenally. But yeah, I agree with Brad. You'd have to do new content, and you'd have to do probably a prequel.
We have it. That's why we're not going to get Game of Thrones season 8 again. We have the story.
You can't get a redo. The only company who has actively said that they would consider redoing movies was Disney with the Star Wars sequels, and I've seen that so many times, and I just genuinely hope that they would actually do it, because I would give money to see those again, actually done correctly. Like there's so many things that are so bad in those movies, and
I don't know. When we got Force Awakens, the new trilogy came, I'm like, modern day, it's gonna be great. Like the choreography for all the battles were just shit.
My problem with Disney, my problem with Disney in this whole thing is you look at everything post Infinity War in the Marvel universe, like they're relying way too much on the comedy side of things instead of the making it like an action kind of. And I don't mind some comedy in it. It's just like Thor: Love and Thunder. Holy shit, that movie was so fucking heavy on comedy,
dude. What happened to the Thor from Infinity War?
Yeah,
that was the best Thor. Like, oh my God, Zach, that was the best version of Thor.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
pain, regret, they're all tremendous motivators. I'm good to go. Like that
Yeah.
Thor, I rode with that man's. And then in Love and Thunder, he's literally not serious for a second of the movie.
Yeah. Well,
I
here's the
hate
thing.
overindulgence on comedy.
Yeah.
I hate over comedy. I hate it.
It's like he reverted to the Thor kind of pre the first Thor movie.
Yeah,
But
he was
very
like that in the first one.
egocentric, but now he's kind of like just really weak minded.
I'm glad you agree, because I had that same thought walking out. I was like, this man has lost everything. Why is he so happy and joking about everything? This isn't the dark world. This is we're past that. He lost everyone he cared about. It's over. Like, we need this.
Yeah,
We need a hardened hero.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
I think a lot of it, and I hate. It sucks to say, but I generally just think that every time something that could be darker or more grown up gets bought by Disney, you lose it. Like it's just done. Like when Star Wars, like I knew that was probably gonna go downhill, but they've had a few good things. Like Rogue One, incredible, probably one of the best in my opinion.
No one would argue that. Yeah.
But I mean, it's just like you have so many opportunities to get away from comedy and all that, and you just like don't. It's like they go into a boardroom and they go, "All right, guys, so Avengers is over. We're kind of desperate. By quota, we need to come out with 4 Marvel movies a year. They're all gonna have the same plot, but this time we're gonna have different token actors. Does anybody have any plot ideas? Oh yes. How about they get their butt beat and then they laugh about it? Ron, that's genius. Oh my god! And then they do it.
And then we'll have him go back and just slaughter the big bad at the end. Like it won't even be close.
Yeah, it won't even be like no character development. Just that he discovers that he had the power all along.
Oh, it was within his heart.
and then at the end of it, I want to hear like EMP. I got the power.
Yeah, there you go.
Be great.
There you go.
So what do you think that has in store for the next Deadpool?
Nothing. I think it's gonna be awful. I think it's gonna be terrible.
It's gonna be terrible.
It's gonna be. They're gonna try to do it, but without as much crude humor, and it's not gonna be funny.
Ryan Reynolds is gonna hate Deadpool 3 almost as much as he hates Green Lantern.
That's fair.
Yeah,
and
almost not quite, because Green Lantern was awful.
I think Deadpool was special. And they managed to make Deadpool 2 still invigorating and special. But when we get something new in film, and we all love it, once that awe effect is done, and they just try to make money off of it to keep it going longer, I think this is not going to be a special movie at all. I agree with you guys. I think we're going to watch it.
I'm worried about.
Oh, cool! We've seen this, and the jokes are less good, and it's not.
I'm worried about what Disney's going to do with the Punisher. They've announced that John Barenthal's coming back to do. They're going to do a 3rd season of the Punisher on Disney Plus.
I'll watch it.
The Punisher.
I'm excited, but
it's the Punisher. How graphic is it going to be? Compared to the other 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I don't know, because you got into an era in like the 70s and 80s with Marvel that characters, and even the early 90s, where characters really got dark and gritty.
Mm-hmm.
And Disney owns everything Marvel now, and it's like we're never going to see that side of those comics again.
That's the only side I want to see, because I feel like all I'm used to now is the comedy, and I hate the comedy.
It's not even like good comedy either. Like I don't know. It's because they lean too much on like the wokeness, and I don't mind seeing like wokeness in the movies and stuff, but when you saturate it, the movie and the series with it, it just becomes like you're preaching to me instead of entertaining me.
I'm with you, and I listened to a really tiny, minuscule scene. You guys might be like, "What a weird example," but like even just the comedy that makes no sense compared to what we saw in the old days, like Force Awakens, Han Solo and Chewbacca. It was right when they got ambushed by the troopers right before Rey gets taken hostage. Okay, they're back to back behind a boulder, and Han says, "Like, I gotta try he tries out Chewie's crossbow, and he shoots it, and he murks someone. He's like, I gotta get me one of these. And I'm like, you guys are getting slaughtered right now, and you're like laughing, talking about like, oh, I gotta get me one of these weapons. Like, watch. That never happened. This is a serious thing. It should be a serious moment, and you're like joking around. And I'm just like, this is like.
And you know Harrison Ford. You know Harrison Ford didn't give a shit about that script because he knew he was dying at some point.
Yeah, and I'm in the theater, and I consciously remember I saw that when I lived in Idaho. I saw that, and it took me out of the movie. I mean, a lot of things took me out of that movie, but I saw that I was literally like, ugh, cringe. Like, I don't want it. I don't want to see it. Yuck.
Well, hopefully Game of Thrones sticks with the whole idea that not everybody can ride dragons, unlike Disney, who just says everyone can wield a lightsaber, use the Force. So that'd be pretty sick.
Well, the only thing that happened in that episode that was not in the books was the prophecy. I didn't have a problem with it, but that is not in the books. The whole Aegon had a dream, the Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah,
everyone thinks that's in the books. It wasn't in the books, but I love it. I think it ties in Game of Thrones to the story, and I don't think it was gratuitous. I don't think it's going to hurt the plot at all.
They didn't lean too heavy on it.
No, they didn't. It's a secret. They're not going to lean heavy on it either because it's a secret.
It was the perfect amount to nod off to Game of Thrones to capture the viewers that have seen it, and they were like, "Oh, all right, yeah, okay, that's wholesome. I like that."
I will say it's nice that the I don't hear every 5 minutes winter is coming.
It's funny because
who's winter?
She puts glitter all over her body at the club.
It's funny. It's funny that even 173 years before all this, they're saying when the next long night comes. Like they're already thinking about the next winter. It's kind of crazy.
Zach, winter also spells it with a Y.
You guys are all aware though that there is going to be a massive time jump, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is mostly we figured it would be.
It's coming about halfway through the show, and it'll probably be about 10 years. So all these main characters like Otto Hightower, Viserys, they probably won't be recast, but the younger ones will definitely be recast. Alicent Hightower and Rhaenyra will be recast for sure.
Sweet.
That guy Kirsten Cole, the guy that beat Daemon in the joust, he'll be a part of the show.
Speaking of Daemon, terribly ugly dude, but his acting was phenomenal. I thought he was one of my favorites on the show.
Terribly awesome, dude. I don't want to see him in an orgy scene, but his acting was great.
He's unpredictable, man. Okay. He's unpredictable. He's I think in some parts in the show we'll see him being like the hero, and then in other parts of the show we'll see him doing something gruesome and reckless. And I think it's going to be beautiful to watch such a complex character on the screen. You know,
I was going to say that's a cool role to play.
Yeah,
to have both. You know, like you're.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. It's like Jaime Lannister has an incredible character arc. I think Game of Thrones is full of deep characters.
Until the last episode.
Sure, but
yeah, the one where he just goes, "I'm leaving." Okay.
Jaime goes from not honorable to honorable. It's a slope, but this guy's gonna have both at once, and that's like Brandon, what you just said. It's gonna be like rolling a D20 every episode with this guy. We're not gonna be able to predict what he does. It's going to be hard to get into his head and think how he's going to respond to situations. And as viewers, that's going to be fun to watch unfold because we're just going to be like, what the fuck all the time.
I mean, the guy's bringing his hoe to his wife. Like that's what he's doing right now. Like he's flying back to Dragonstone. No, not to Dragonstone. To
Runestone.
Yeah, Runestone, yes.
Runestone's part of the Veil, by the way, the Eyrie. Yeah. But he's never mind. You guys will find out. It'll be good. Gucci.
Bringing his hoe to the wife.
That's right.
See, this is what you have to compete with.
Good for him. You know?
Yeah. Syraxes, by the way, great dragon. That dragon's just like Daemon, by the way. Very unpredictable, very vicious dragon. Yeah, the red worm.
Yeah. I think
that'll be sweet. Sick. I hope they don't lean too heavy on dragon this, dragon that, dragons all the time. I feel like they probably will, but don't overdo it. You know.
Hey, we're finally only a couple days away from the premiere of the Lord of the Rings prequel.
So far, the internet hates it.
Yeah.
I am.
The internet hates everything though.
When the Game of Thrones trailers dropped, like I already, with everything researched about it, 10 out of 10 know it's going to be good. With this, I'm optimistic, but I'm by no means like expecting it to be good. With the budget, we all should be. It's like literally double House of the Dragon. But
that's crazy,
dude. I don't know.
Stupid amount of money.
Some of that stuff in there looked questionable.
Amazon quite literally only gets like 10% of their shit right when it comes to scripted television.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm all for competition when it comes to these companies. I mean, like I'm all for it. Like you're trying to do what Game of Thrones did, but that's different than Sony coming out with an exclusive and Xbox coming out with an exclusive and them trying to do their own thing. But that's like if they were like, all right, let's try to do Oculus. Like it's biting off more than you can chew. I feel like
Game of Thrones captured lightning in a bottle, and they did it.
Yeah, exactly. And can it be done twice?
That's it.
I don't think so.
Probably
not.
It
could be good. It could be good. But I'm thinking like you'll have to like Lord of the Rings a lot in order to enjoy the show.
I feel like if you're on the the top end of your craft, you're probably going to lean towards wanting to work with HBO first, and then maybe going to like Netflix. I feel like
Sure.
Amazon's for like the community college folk, you know.
I will say I did used to think that, and then I started watching The Boys, and that's Amazon.
That's part of the 10% they get
the
right.
10% that they got right.
The Boys and
they got it
Reacher
really right though.
Reacher was excellent.
I like Terminalist too.
You know, that
nailed it.
and it's all happened this year. Everything before
yeah.
this year, other than The Boys, has been garbage from Amazon. Like all the Terminalist, Reacher,
Yellowstone was
that came out this year.
Is Yellowstone on Amazon?
Prime?
It's on Prime, so I don't know if that means
Yellowstone started out as an.
Is it Prime?
I mean, I watched it on Prime.
Yellowstone started out as
Peacock.
an AMC property, I believe.
It is Peacock, Brandon.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. I bought it off of Prime. Great show.
Sweet.
Kevin Costner's good. Anyway, shameless plug for Cowboy
and then
Life. But
I believe after season 3, I don't know if AMC canceled it or if somebody bought the rights to it, but yeah, that's why it's floating around everywhere.
I can't really fathom that the House of the Dragon budget is $200 million and this Amazon show, one freaking season, is $467 million. It doesn't even make sense to me.
No, I think that it could be really good. I don't think I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough about it, and I don't like. Brad knows this about me. If I'll watch the announcement trailer, but I won't watch a single thing after that. Like I don't watch anything. I don't look anything up. I go into as clean as I could, basically.
Now I'm assuming that House of the Dragon's done primarily in front of a green screen for the most part.
No. They
Really?
go to all around the world.
Actually, the opposite. The dragons are one of the only CGI elements. There will be more CGI in this season because there's stuff in Westeros. That's another weird thing that people are saying, the world 200 years ago should be less advanced than it is when we see Game of Thrones. But
it's medieval. There's not electricity in Game of Thrones.
Literally in the show of Game of Thrones, they talk about how much more grand and exquisite things were back then, like the architecture and stuff. It's like us saying the Cambodian temples and the pyramids of Egypt, we don't have stuff like that anymore. So there's stuff like the Dragon Pit that's going to be CGI'd. They filmed that when it was broken down in Spain, but in Game of Thrones, only CGI stuff was the dragons. So, and the direwolves, obviously. So in this show, we'll probably get only dragons and then a few exotic locations. And that's it.
That's pretty cool, though. So, I mean, I feel like if Amazon comes out swinging with this Lord of the Rings show, and they realize that they spent an egregious amount of money, and it flops, I feel like that's just gonna be a flat tire for them, and they're gonna be cautious when it comes to doing that again, or letting money like that affect a show, and I feel like they're just gonna lose the quality.
I can't figure out what the extra $200 million is for. Like the only thing I can think of is the fact that they had to break up. I don't know if New Zealand has the same problems that Australia's having right now, because I don't follow that part of the world. But I know if you're filming in that place, in that area, it's kind of like Canada was, where you couldn't. It's still Canada. You can't, if you're filming something up in Canada, you can't go in. You have to. They still want you quarantining before you come back in. You know.
Yeah, I mean, location. You might be right about that. Like just paying Australia and New Zealand. But beyond that, I mean, beast monsters. Middle Earth Beast CGI. I don't know. I really don't.
I mean, I think it could be. I think it's gonna be amazing. I think that but I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Like, I love Lord of the Rings.
I can't wait for it too.
What'd you say? Okay. So I guess my biggest thing is I think their budget. I think a lot more of it per episode is gonna be that CGI, because you obviously can't do the massive landscapes that are Middle Earth. Like, you just won't be able to. In regards to like how Brad says that the timeline's different, and I just don't think that you can have what Middle Earth started off with and where it all started and make that into it's both a U. And
I'm not trying to get canceled off fucking YouTube though.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I think it could be really good. I think a lot of that budget's gonna be CGI.
It has to be, right?
It's gonna be, and because they obviously can't. They're also Middle Earth is massive armies, like massive armies. So it's not like
they'll use 200 people and then kind of copy that image. Yeah.
Right.
Well, not strictly copy it, but
right. But I mean, Lord of the Rings was how many years ago? Those pieces of cinema are amazing. The CGI was awesome back then too. So it's like they also do a lot of their budget. If you look at the budget for the old ones too, a lot of their budget goes into the makeup, because they'd rather have makeup done to them to make them look like orcs, goblins, Orcai, all that, because none of those guys were CGI. Like,
instead of CGI.
None of them.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
And that's some of the best makeup and costuming I've ever seen. And the big siege equipment things, a lot of that was like made. Like, they didn't CGI that stuff.
That's true. It's very true.
If they are spending the bulk of that budget on like CGI and stuff, like I remember a story listening to Ian Ziering talk about Sharknado and stuff, and say whatever you want about Sharknado, but how they were able to film those movies on such a small budget. Like, they're doing it on a sci-fi budget, which is like, I mean, they were doing it in the high hundreds of thousands of dollars. They weren't even crossing into like $1 million.
And that movie's a household name.
Yeah,
we all know what Sharknado is.
The way they did it is, you have what the movie industry is using today for CGI. They would take a program that was a generation or two behind, use that and it's like, I mean, they were only paying like 10% of the price for something that was 2 generations back to use in their movie. Right. And it's just as good. There's not much difference from CGI used today.
No,
not much. It's very
like shit. Like it looked like shit. Saying it's a couple years back.
I think part of it was supposed to. I mean, Sharknado is not like a serious movie. You know,
I don't think that anybody went in and said, if we have the option to make them look a little bit better, let's make them shittier. I don't think I think that it's just a sci-fi movie with Sci-Fi Channel with a sci-fi budget, like you said.
But you know how much money they made in ad sales because of that movie franchise?
I know, and I don't think I want to know, because
it's fucking
a lot of money.
Unbelievable. Like, it's a lot. Like, it would blow your mind if you would just read the figures
that
the number
made on this movie. I last time I read it was like 6 years ago. I don't know the number off the top of my head.
What the fuck?
But off the top, they made a shit ton of money off of that movie.
It's saying that it's a wait. Hold on. When does this come out? When does it say? 2 years ago. Okay, this is just no. This is an Alexa answer. So this is apparently a fact. Sharknado, the once joke of a film, has officially become, this 2 years ago, fact, has officially become the most successful movie franchise of all time. The 4-year-old franchise on July 11th, 2002
20.
or 2020, 2020. It made 4.5 billion in total franchise gross, beating Disney Pixar's 4.5 billion according to filmsite.org.
Holy shit.
Those guys need to retire.
That's
ridiculous.
stupid.
Retire,
ridiculous.
buy a mansion, and just hang up a movie poster, and then live out your life. That's all
Damn,
you need.
like
You're done.
Sharknado's one of those movies that's so bad it's good.
Like the
That
Anaconda movies.
people wanted to watch it. Like they had to check in for it. Like
Shit. Or
like,
Eight-Legged Freaks. Oh, dude, that movie was awesome. That was a
Good
great movie for its time. That movie was awesome.
great, yeah.
So I told you it's.
So what you're saying is we need the
mind-blowing.
guys that directed and wrote Sharknado to come out with a TV show on HBO with an Amazon budget, and let's just see what happens.
Oh God!
Favorite?
I mean, I'd watch that.
What do you guys think is the best shark movie? You can rule out Jaws. I feel like Jaws is most people's number one.
Deep Blue Sea.
Yep, Deep Blue Sea for me.
I mean, The Shallows, watching Blake Lively paddle around in a movie wasn't awful.
I'd watch her read the phone book.
Me too.
I just love Blake Lively.
Shallows I thought was good. I just thought it was like too.
Oh, I thought it was a fucking awful movie, but I'll watch it again for Blake Lively.
If I had my druthers and it had to be Blake Lively movie, it would be what the fuck's the name of that movie?
Age of Adeline.
No,
There's so many of them with her.
Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's no
she's
shark
banging the
movie
two
that's
dudes.
given me that much enjoyment like Sharknado did.
Oh God damn it!
I need to watch Sharknado again because I think I watched it one time. Like that's it. I don't think I've seen it twice.
Oh, have you guys? Not to sidetrack, and just to show you that I'm not just sitting there coddling Sony. Do you see Sony's getting sued for $6 billion in the UK?
It did.
Did you also
And
see that
granted-
they're raising the prices of their consoles?
Well,
They
yeah,
all-
but
guys
that's
did that.
not for the U.S. That's for other places that their supply chain sucks ass. So that makes sense. But at the same time, this Sony thing, them getting sued, I kind of think is bullshit because it's
was
only
right.
the UK, and this is one with the competition. Microsoft and Sony literally operate like gas stations across the street from each other. If Microsoft puts their gas on sale for $60 per game, and then Sony does the same shit. And then because then you look at, and you have to for a lot of these other games, for example, this
Imitation is the best form of flattery, right?
exactly. But Harry Potter, this legacy game that I don't know if you guys noticed, but it got postponed until February.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
do you see what they just announced their collector's edition as? Do you know how much fucking money it is? Just guess. Let me give you what it comes with. Some DLC. It comes with some other content. It comes with a steel casing. It comes with a collector's box, and it comes with a book that opens up that has magnets in it, so a wand floats above the book as a decoration collectible.
Okay, that's
How much do you think? Game costs $60. The
200.
digital or the deluxe
200.
version costs $80.
200.
140.
Higher. Both
Oh my
of you.
god.
Holy
$300
shit!
fucking dollars.
Well, he said magnetic wand floating, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, look it
that
up.
would've been-
$300 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what's gonna suck for Sony on that?
Cool.
Anytime an outside a foreigner gets sued in the UK, that foreign company is gonna lose 100% of the
Not
time.
all the time.
No,
No, well,
100% of the time.
fair. But the other thing that just makes me mad about it is that like they're getting sued for the exact same thing that almost every gaming company does right now, which is charge a 30% markup on their products. It's been like that for decades. But what's happening now is that Sony has exclusive games, and so the fact that they're not decreasing their pricing to match because you can only buy those games on the PlayStation Network, they're getting sued for that. Because they're saying that Sony has a monopoly on the PlayStation exclusive games that you can't get on Microsoft or you can't get on PC and like all that.
Isn't that the whole point of owning a PlayStation?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like it doesn't
Like,
make any sense. Like
yeah.
and they're not like taking brand like Ragnarok. They're not Ragnarok coming out. They're saying right now that's a prime example is that it coming out and them still charging the $70 is too much. But if you look at an Xbox game that comes out and they charge $70 for theirs, it's the exact same thing. Am I wrong?
No, I mean,
Like I don't get the ground that they're standing on for it, but it's $5.9 billion they're getting sued for, and it's a lawsuit, and anybody who's purchased PlayStation games since a PlayStation 3 can make a claim to get a payout. Is basically what the ruling would be.
Sweet.
Well, only
there's
in the
got to
UK.
be
Only in the UK.
There's got to be more
Not
here
here.
than
Oh,
that. And Zach, that's nothing against like
No, look it
what
up,
you
dude.
read-
I
what you read
just
about it, but like that, if
That's
their
it.
only valuation is, "Hi, we're charging the same as other gaming companies," you're being
30%
sued.
markup. The
It's
only
not-
gaming company that does not do that is Epic Games. That is the only company who does not do it.
I will say this: if Sony will settle out of court.
Oh,
because
they'll
if
settle.
They go
Yeah,
through,
They'll settle for
if
sure.
they go through with if they go through and go to trial with all this stuff, they're gonna lose.
It's consumer rights, so you can't ever really win against that.
Yeah, especially over in the UK, like they're gonna side. Especially if you go like company to company, like a UK company suing a foreign company.
Yeah.
The UK company is going to win 100% of the time. So it's
The other thing
one
I
of
don't,
the
I
it's
don't
the
really
same
understand
thing.
is like maybe the UK is different than where we're at. Do they not have like GameStop or Amazon to buy the same game? Do you know what I
They
mean?
do.
So like why sue Sony? That's I'm just confused. Like it doesn't. I feel like like Brett said, there's got to be more to it, but at the same time, like nothing that they're talking about shows anything different than that.
I mean, I'm just doing a quick search, and I mean, everything you're saying is computes. Not that I thought it didn't,
Yeah.
but like,
No, you're good. It
It's
seems like there's got to be something else. Like it just seems like
They were bored, needed something to do, so they're like, fuck it. Let's
Yeah.
sue somebody for $6 billion.
that just to me, it's just like so. Is Microsoft going to get the same thing for like Xbox exclusives? Like Halo, they just released Halo at the same price that got awarded. Which I don't know if you guys saw this.
it's free on Game Pass though.
Right,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
Where they get 'em. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is the fucking A. Well, like a good example is like the Stray just released on PlayStation 5 in the last update or last month, and that was free with their subscription. But if you wanted to buy it, it was $35. So, like, if they were to take that game and put it up at 60, sure, maybe I can understand that. But also, that's how it is.
It's fair. By the way, that movie I was thinking of with Blake Lively that I would watch over and over again was Savages.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. Oh, by the way, sorry, but House of the Dragon. If anyone needed this cleared up, did you guys know what the Triarchy was?
What?
Happily, like openly admitted, would get on a pedestal.
Triarch
right
makes
now
me
about it.
think it's 3 people.
Makes me think of that Call of Duty game.
That's
Oh,
Zach, that was very profound. No, so when they mentioned the Triarchy in that small council meeting, they're referring to the Free Cities, the alliance of the 3 cities against Westeros. They didn't really go into that. I was thinking if you ever
We'll get into it.
Be like, what the fuck?
We'll get into it. I want to go on this
feel
cold
like-
turkey. Brad, don't tell me the plot, man. Don't
I
let
feel
me
like-
think more than my
I'm
little brain
not.
can handle.
I feel like Brad's TV at home looks like a glazed fucking donut right now.
No,
Hey,
that's just gaming
Got
monitor.
saran wrap on it.
Josh, if you've known me for the last 10 years, Game of Thrones is like water, dude. I live for Game of Thrones, man. Truly.
Speaking of which, I'd like to point this out that come November, Zach will have
Oh no,
hands
I haven't
down,
told Brad yet.
the best fucking gaming chair ever made.
Oh, did you get the House of the Dragon one?
The Secret Labs, yeah, I did.
Fan fucking
nice.
It
tastic.
a
Yeah,
great chair.
I'm pumped about it. I need a new one bad, and Sarah
great
is
chair.
not gonna. Sarah's not gonna. Sarah can use my old one.
It's a great chair.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm fucking pumped.
That's gonna be sweet, dude. I'm as soon as you text
November
me, I'm like, oh,
23rd.
he bought it. Yeah, I'm like, he bought it.
I
told
texted
Maggie
him.
about
I
it,
was like,
and she's
I blame you, and he's like, you bought it, didn't you? I was like, yeah.
It's pretty good
great.
chair. I as much as I like that one, I need a Stark equivalent, and I'll get the Stark. one.
It's on there, and that one
It's
you don't
on
have
there.
to wait for.
Oh,
and
I'll be
it's
getting that
cool.
one then probably. So
You could also
Yeah.
do I just did it because they are expensive, but you can do there's I did it with a firm
Yeah.
and just pay it that way, and that one's not bad, and I think you have you can pay it over like 6 or 12 or 8 months or something like that. I think the smallest is like 4 or something like that. But then it's all based on your credit. So like my interest was like almost nothing. I think it cost me like actually like $40, maybe, if that.
Well, I'll find out at the end of this week if my dad's getting a better job. I might be able to.
Oh, nice, man. I'll keep them in my thoughts. That's awesome.
Yeah. We're dying for people in logistics right now. So they have like referral bonuses going out, and I just referred one of my buddies to start working there too. So it's Kayla's husband Alex that you guys met.
I've done logistics for 10 years
guy.
of my life. I'm done with it.
Stellar.
Yeah,
done with it.
Come work for us, man. I'll be your boss. It'll be cool. But I have to start wrapping up. So is there anything else you need me for?
Nope.
We're at that hour
take
mark.
a nap.
Nope.
Fuck.
All right. So for our special guests, Zach and Brad, my co-host Brandon Parks, I am Josh Henney. This was the Guys Weekend Podcast. Good night.
I'm gonna go eat another piece of pizza.
One taste coming.